Valve is back. They're currently working on SteamOS 3, a brand new Steam console with a Steam controller to go with it. There's of course a new VR headset, the Deckard, and we can't forget about HLX. These projects keep getting closer and a few of them might get announced in 2025. So let's take a look at everything we know Valve is working on. For the last 24 months, there has been a spike in the number of employees Valve has hired, with it peaking this fall, the exact opposite of other game companies that are laying off their employees. From artists, sound and level designers, a physics engine developer, animators, the entire Hopoo studio, plus nearly every other position you can think of. They even outsourced some models for the new train map to Sierra Division. On average, every Valve employee in their games category makes over $1 million per year. So what are these Valve employees doing if they are just outsourcing the work? It's almost like those employees are working on bigger projects, as it's a lot easier for Valve to let some other company make models for a CS2 map, while Valve employees work on something which might be more important. This lines up exactly with Valve also now working with Real Biomes, a company that goes out and scans different environments in the highest quality. They have 8K textures and 3D scanned models, all from real life locations that they use with a procedural workflow. So instead of Valve going out to a biome they want for their next game just to scan the assets and get the exact same results, Valve pays Real Biomes and saves a bunch of time while working on whatever else that they feel is more important. One of the main things Valve has been working on recently is Deadlock. With the game still being in early access, huge updates are changing around parts of the map, hero designs, and matchmaking, plus they just released the 30th hero. I wouldn't assume the game is close to launch yet, as there is still a bunch of changes being made, like the Anim Graph system being upgraded to Anim Graph 2, but Valve still hasn't said anything publicly other than this Steam page. We know Deadlock will have skins for your heroes and a visual novel going over the lore. SNBox or Sandbox deserves a mention, as it is the only non-Valve Source 2 game. That said, Facepunch is working directly with Valve so that you can curate and export games to Steam or other places. You have so many possibilities with Sandbox, whether it's creating a brand new game or playing one that someone else made for you, even if that is just exploring Half-Life locations in Source 2. With Sandbox still being in dev preview, its potential grows as more people try out the engine and experiment with what is possible. So although we don't have a Source 2 SDK, Sandbox is currently the closest thing to it, especially if Valve lets you export directly to Steam. We can't talk about Valve's current projects without the Deckard, the VR headset which first popped up in 2021. Since then, Valve has filed multiple patents, including an adjustable head-mounted display that is wireless, an eye calibration system, and inside-out tracking, along with a bunch more. Going by everything we know so far, it will be a next generation all-in-one VR headset. Valve's Index is currently the third most popular VR headset on Steam, which I'm sure they want to change that with the Deckard. Now that it is the holiday season, instead of opening up cases and getting nothing, ClashGG is running a Christmas event. They are raffling away a souvenir op Dragon Lore on December 31st that's worth 40,000 gems, so make sure to enter before it's too late, as they're also giving away over 200,000 worth of skins during this holiday season. Every 30 minutes there is a new raffle for you to enter up until December 31st that you won't want to miss. For every gem, you get a raffle ticket, so my favorite way to get them is through case battles. Use code WaterCS for a 5% deposit bonus and get even better chances at winning the Dragon Lore. They have free daily cases, a rain every 30 minutes, and a daily race for you to earn even more gems. When you want to withdraw, just pick from a wide range of skins and crypto. Just use code WaterCS on ClashGG today. There will of course be the new Roy controllers that Valve accidentally gave us looks at, showing a different design from the Knuckles. There is the D-pad, triggers, thumbsticks, face buttons, and Brad Lynch has said there will be two versions of the controller battery covers, one with straps and one without. So these are the current designs for the Deckard's Roy controllers. Talking about controllers, Valve is of course working on the Steam Controller 2, which has been rumored to be set for production, which is very similar to a Steam Deck. I would almost say the button placements are one-to-one, but without the screen in the middle. Its design is a nice upgrade from the original Steam controller, which was made for you to play any Steam game you wanted on a TV. but the only requirement was that you needed to use a Steam machine or any other computer which was running big picture mode. So when Valve released the original Steam controller, it came side by side with the Steam machine. But this was in 2015, and now both of these are discontinued. So for the Steam controller 2, it's not like Valve is selling Steam machines to go with it. Or are they? A new piece of hardware from Valve was recently found called the Fremont. It's powered by AMD Lilac, but what was found was that it has an HDMI port. This is pretty important because an HDMI would mean that it plugs into a TV or monitor. This lines up to be a modern day Steam machine, Steam box, Steam console, or whatever your preferred way to call it is. Just a piece of hardware where its purpose is to plug into a TV and easily run SteamOS. A new Steam controller makes a lot of sense once you realize Valve has a Steam console in the making. Gabe has noted that he is jealous of Nintendo's hardware strategy of being able to release hardware with software to make the hardware look good, and that they would do that in the future, which they did with the Index and Half-Life Alyx, plus the Steam Deck with Aperture's Desk Job. So what about the Deckard or even the Fremont? What type of software or games will Valve release with it to really show it off? If Valve wants to make a big entrance into the console scene, what if they promote the Fremont with HLX? I wouldn't assume Valve is out there making HLX for other gaming consoles, so why not sell it with their own? A lot of Valve's new hardware centers around SteamOS 3, the operating system based on Arch Linux you can find on a Steam Deck with the KDE Plasma environment. The thing is, Valve confirmed they will let other manufacturers use it for their own devices, and also confirmed plans to release a PC installer. But they just want to make sure it has full compatibility before doing so, which is why there is still no official public release. Many gamers are excited for the release of SteamOS 3 so they can finally switch off Windows and its bloatware that just keeps ruining the gaming experience. That said, a public release of SteamOS 3 will likely come out after the rest of the hardware Valve is working on. As previously, Valve confirmed they were still planning on releasing a PC installer for SteamOS 3, but put it on pause while making the Steam Deck OLED. So what about now with the Steam Controller 2, Fremont, Deckard, and Roy controllers all being worked on? We did just see Valve update their brand guidelines for SteamOS, indicating that they are getting ready for others to use their operating system. So they clearly have something cooking for SteamOS. A new entry into the Half-Life series, which unlike Alyx, is said to be a non-VR title. We know Valve wanted to return to Gordon's story since Half-Life Alyx. Information in the source 2 files indicates a new gore and destructible body part system, open world aspects with procedural generation, plus an animation and ragdoll overhaul. There is a lot more including gravity and Zen, but what I'm really excited for is Valve's actual plans on how they're going to continue the story. Will it be set right at the end of Half-Life 2 Episode 2's ending, but with the Alyx storyline instead? Or will it be a few years ahead? Or will there be another big retcon that changes the story? Going by everything up until now, Alyx was thrown into stasis, so Gordon and Eli swear to take down the G-Man. This gives a bunch of possibilities, as it indicates that not only Gordon can see the G-Man, but so can Eli. With Zen being heavily mentioned in the files, it is speculated we will be exploring different worlds and timelines to track down the G-Man and save Alyx. But I'm sure there will be a lot of other twists and turns that don't just make it as simple as that if Valve even decides to continue that storyline. I wouldn't assume it's close to releasing yet, but hopefully we learn the actual name rather than only HLX. Will Valve call it Half-Life 3, Half-Life X, Half-Life Zen, or some other name like Half-Life Saving Alyx? We know HLX is Valve's biggest project, so definitely expect more news throughout the new year. As well as this, Valve writers have previously confirmed well over a year ago that they have the start to Portal 3. The only issue is that the rest of Valve isn't working on the project. If you missed everything else in this video, it should be clear that Valve has their hands full right now, which might be why they can't continue with Portal 3 right now, even though the writers started it. So hopefully once Valve has finished developing HLX and Deadlock is officially released, they can move on to Portal 3, seeing as they already have the start. Talking about finishing their current projects, Valve has confirmed multiple times that they will be releasing a Steam Deck 2, just not soon as they want to wait for a generational leap in compute. Valve is taking the positives from the Steam Deck and adding it into their new pieces of hardware, but once Valve starts releasing some of these projects, could we see their hardware employees start working on the Steam Deck too? As you can tell, Valve has a lot on their plate right now, and these next few years will be exciting for gamers all around. Which one of these projects Valve is working on right now are you most excited for?